And first here tonight at 5 o'clock, we're right now on the eve of reciprocal tariffs officially go into effect on what President Donald Trump is calling Liberation Day, starting tomorrow on April 3rd. It is our top story for you here on WHAS 11 News at 5. Hello, everybody. I'm Doug Proffitt.
And I'm Shay McAllister. The president's sweeping new tariffs are expected to upend global trade and impact every part of the American economy. However, he has stopped short of sharing exactly what he has in mind. Prices are expected to go up on everyday goods, including clothing, groceries, electronics, and cars. Steel and aluminum tariffs have already raised the price of building a new home by $9,000, according to an industry association.
Household budgets have already been stretched by the past several years of inflation and high prices. And if you layer on the possibility of still higher prices on top of that, you can see why consumer sentiment has plunged the way that it has.
The auto industry is expected to see some of the biggest disruption as the vast majority of cars use parts from other countries. According to ABC News, one estimate states the cost of a new car could increase by $6,000 to $8,000 by this time next year. And here in Louisville, one local Ford dealer tells us they expect car prices to rise, but they wouldn't predict by how much.
It comes as we see customers actually racing to make their purchases now on such a big purchase before the auto tariffs kick in. Our Isaiah Kim Martinez and senior photojournalist Alyssa Newton have that story.
Ford dealers like Collins Auto Group on Bardstown Road have been stockpiling supply.
We think it's a great opportunity for consumers because inventory on ground currently is all tariff-free.
About 90 days worth of inventory, General Manager Shane Collins says, ahead of President Trump's tariffs on cars assembled outside the U.S. and the foreign parts American automakers like Ford import.
So I think sooner rather than later for their buying is better.
This Ford Mustang Mach-E, an electric vehicle put together in Mexico, with 18% of its parts coming from our neighbors to the south. Some economists expect these increased costs to be passed down to the consumer.
I do expect there'll be some slight increases at some point. Do not know when those will be, but I think they'll probably be several weeks away or a couple months away as opposed to, tomorrow. As far as overall increases, I don't expect them to be near as drastic as they've been talking about.
Folks here at Bill Collins Ford say they've already heard from customers saying they moved up their shopping timeline months. We know dealerships acknowledge they'll likely have to raise prices at some point. The question is by how much?
The affordability of it. Yeah, you can afford a better car now, obviously, than you can when the tariffs hit because it's going to cost more.
Bill Byers talked to us after buying a new car at Bill Collins Ford, saying he went quicker with the incoming tariffs in mind.
Sure were, yes, major factor.
Meanwhile, UAW Louisville chapter president Todd Dunn worries what impact sticker shock could have on Ford's union factory workers and production.
How many vehicles we're going to build, and what's the need? Is it 3 shifts or 2 shifts? For any given plant. Is it 2 shifts or 1 shift?
President Trump has made it clear the goal is to bring more car manufacturing into the U.S. and he believes the tariffs will convince more Americans to buy American.
Is this going to be grandfathered in? What about the cars that are already sitting on the lot or in the production line, built with the parts before the tariff takes effect?
Well, we heard Shane Collins. The goal is for the next 60 to 90 days for that to be basically tariff immune. So anything you see on the lot right now, theoretically, done, signed, sealed, and delivered, you can get that for the price sort of way things are going in this current market. Now, once we get into June, once we get into July, then it's a different story potentially.
So the prices aren't going to go up immediately on these cars?
At least for Ford. Remember, Ford is one of the most American automakers you can have with, I think Shay was talking about 80%.
80%.
But even there, the 20%, potentially foreign materials. We saw the Mach-E on the lot there, made in at least that final production in Mexico. We'll have to sort of wait and see how long this takes. Ford has the advantage, though, of pushing it off a little bit more potentially than some other automakers here.
All right, Isaiah, thank you very much.
Sirens are an outdoor warning device, and they're intended for people that are outdoors to seek shelter when they activate.
The director today of the Clark County, Indiana Emergency Management Agency, that's Gavin Hebner, on how tornado sirens save lives. And that's why the agency has been asking commissioners in local cities to help them gather money to install more sirens across Clark County, a large county in southern Indiana.
Well, last year, the EMA did have enough money to purchase and install 7 new sirens. Jose Alonso reports that one of them will be placed in northwestern Sellersburg.
This video on the town of Sellersburg's Indiana Facebook page from last May shows a tornado forming but not touching down near Covered Bridge Golf Club in the northwestern part of town.
You either have them or you don't. They need to work. And any kind of early warning system that we can have in place for the safety of our residents, there's no price on that.
Charlie Smith with the town of Sellersburg says right now there's only one siren for his entire town. Smith shared this map with me, showing where a second siren they helped fund will be installed. The Clark County Emergency Management Agency has been gathering funds to install 7 new sirens near public outdoor spaces. As of now, 2 of those sirens are under a manufacturing delay. Director Gavin Hebner explains why.
They are ready to be installed, just waiting for some different permits and different things like that to be finalized so we can get them in the ground and get going.
The green circles on this map show sirens currently in place, while the blue circles represent 20 to 25 sirens they hope to eventually install. One of those in the same area, Smith says this tornado was forming. In Clark County, Jose Alonso, WHAS11 on your side.
Clark County EMA was recently granted $80,000 for 2 more sirens this year. Their goal is to fund and install 4 more by the end of 2025. Of course, this comes as the National Weather Service confirms another tornado hit Kentuckiana Sunday night. According to the National Weather Service, an EF1 tornado with wind speeds of at least 90 miles per hour hit parts of South Meade County and Harding County. And just into the newsroom, the National Weather officials tells us they have confirmed a 5th tornado in Breckinridge County.
Well, back here at home, looking ahead to that forecast today, MSD crews in Louisville are working across Metro Louisville to clear storm drains of trees and other debris ahead of the incoming massive amounts of rainfall in the forecast. This week, the agency is also focused on small creeks and rivers throughout the Metro Louisville area. This work includes removing trees, leaves, and other debris from those storm drains to prevent localized flooding. MSD representatives also told us they consider this to be routine. Ahead of any kind of rain, they aren't expecting major flooding.
It's just a matter of making sure everything is as free and clear of debris as possible and that it's ready to go. And we'll have crews on standby that whenever the rain comes in, if they need to be booked overnight, they are.
Cheryl Lauder there with MSD also mentioned customer service representatives are ready to take your calls. If you see any flash flooding happening around you, you can report that by calling 311 or just call MSD directly. The number's 540-6000. So all week long, we're getting you ready for severe weather tomorrow night, but what could be record-breaking amounts of rain on the way as well.
Let's check in now with meteorologist Danielle Moss, who's updating the timing of those storms for tomorrow night. Hey, Danielle.
Hello. Yes, it looks like the storms are going to be rolling through starting around 10 p.m. and it goes all the way until really Saturday almost. But the severe weather threat is going to be isolated until at least Thursday morning. This is a look at the calm before the storm. A beautiful evening for us. Currently 58 degrees here in Louisville. Over the next 12 hours, we're going to be hanging out into the 50s. You can see that update there for the next 12 hours. But here's what you need to know. As we go forward, we are tracking strong storms that could definitely be bringing down some trees and flooding. That flooding threat is top of mind. We are definitely anticipating some potential of record-breaking flooding, so you need to be prepared for that. Make sure that you take those precautions and take the warning seriously. While those cities are preparing, you should prepare too. Here's a look at our weather impact alert. It is going to start late Wednesday night. Wednesday won't be a complete washout. We need to be prepared for those strong to severe thunderstorms and have multiple ways to get communications, because the first round that comes through will be involved with severe weather. We are under a level 3 and a level 4 threat, so you need to make sure that you are prepared for those high winds and the risk of a tornado. So make sure that you have your weather radio charged and your cell phone and your mobile device as well. Here's a look at the timing for it. Cloud cover throughout the day on Wednesday. Late Wednesday night, that's when the main storm system arrives. You can see as it starts to get a little bit more organized around 11:30 p.m. on Wednesday. Those winds are really going to be high and embedded in this frontal system. When we see that organization, that's when we could possibly see a tornado. So you need to make sure that you are aware of that. We'll start to dry out just in time for your Thursday morning, but more heavy rainfall will be coming behind it. Have more details on that coming up.
Danielle, thanks so much. We'll be joining Danielle every 15 minutes with an update on that forecast. And today, Metro Council's Kevin Kramer was in Washington testifying to a congressional committee on local cybersecurity.
The councilman is also the first vice president of the National League of Cities, which gives him access to opportunities like this. Today, he was part of a panel asking Congress to reauthorize and fully fund a grant program that provides local government with tools needed to stay safe against cyber attacks. He explained how Louisville uses the grant, working beyond the metro to help nearby universities and other government agencies too.
In Louisville, it's not just Louisville that's taking advantage of the grant, though. We're the largest city in the state. We're also very near, being on the river, very near Indiana. We are working across the entire region. We've reached out to the universities, both the University of Kentucky and the University of Louisville. We're working with the National Guard. And so it's a program that goes beyond just what we're doing in Louisville. It captures a good part of our state.
The state and local cybersecurity grant program will expire later this year if Congress does not reauthorize the funding.